go. Doing all the things that I should have done before. But we in a hurry. No, that's the opposite of what I would like you to do. Please, computer. Posterity. Cool. Publish. Says hi though. Hello, and I'm saying UK in the garage. Whoop whoop. We making it happen, friends. We making it happen. All right, we are going to we're gonna speed run this warm up segment though, because I've got think it's just after noon right now. What is this nonsense? Yeah, I think it's because it's noon. I have about 3 hours. If I leave the house by 3, I can't leave the house after 3. I have to leave the house by 3 or before. What's up, Andreas? We will make this work. We will make this work. I believe in a thing called love and also in the power of friendship. So we're gonna do this. Waking up. This is a weird feeling. No lie. Normally I would be prepping for this session now. Maybe. One of the things I didn't account for was how much sloshing internally would be happening when I tried to get all of my pre-session food and beverages in. Where's Big Lenny at? To tell you the truth, Andreas, this is such a random time for this stream to be happening for me that I have a feeling he may have no idea it's going on right now. John, hello, been normal stream hours? Wonderful. Well, normal for you guys, I guess. We are on the reduced schedule, though, because if anybody who hasn't tuned into the last couple of streams, this is both the heaviest that we're going before my next meet, and also gotta go and sing the national anthem at the Tangi Johnson Fitness Classic, I think. I don't know what the official title is, but that's in Tacoma, and so if I leave this place by 3 at the absolute latest, then I should be able to... No, then I'll make it in time to get there. But if I leave any later, then we're going to be pushing it. And it's not like the guy who's singing the national anthem can really afford to be late. Arms look jacked today? You're being very, very kind. It's probably an optical illusion caused by the fact that there's actually sunlight out and the garage door is semi-open. So, streaming early. Yes, J Cream. Very early for Ben. Very early. This is probably the earliest training session I've had literally in years. Whoa. bit of a strain from Thursday's squats. I got a little pitch forward on my top set, and so the erector spinae and a little bit of lat got kind of just, they're not hurt, but they reminded me they're there, which made it a little tough to finish that workout. Not because the weights were crazy, just because every time I would take a big breath in, it would kind of remind me it was there. So we'll see if that affects things. I hopefully am strong enough today that it doesn't matter. But we are planning on hitting some singles over 700 pounds, so that kind of no real wiggle room in terms of hitting things correctly. That's a good sign. No hook yet. Ooh. I think that one of the takeaways from last week is that my thumbs got so beat up by the time I got to my top sets that this week we're going to warm up with the over-under and switch and just anticipate how much this is going to be more difficult than when I switch over for the actual top sets. Making it. We're making it. Guess I should start clamping these. This will get you woke up though. If you're not. Yeah. Come on, bro. If you ask why I'm rushing through the warm-ups, it's so that I can actually take my time for the top sets, because I don't have to take as long as I normally do on these sets. Now, Gerber, this is what happens when you wake up on time. That's all it is. Before I head to the gym myself. See, Jason, hello, sir. Diego, how long did it take you to learn how to deadlift? I mean, to the point where you were confident in your technique? I'm still not always confident in my technique. Doing it for 17 years now. Competing in competitions that specifically have the deadlift for over 10 years. And I still change things, try new things, adjust stuff that doesn't seem right. 9 minutes. That's better than usual. 9 minutes to 600. Goodness gracious. It's not like I'm amped. I'm amped right now, so I have to bring some of that anxiousness down to make sure I hit my positions. J. Cream, Ben, I came down with the flu, lost some weight, and when I returned to training yesterday, I lost about 90 pounds off my squat. I feel like hard work for the past 8 weeks has been wasted. Any tips? First of all, don't let it psych you out, because you should come back knowing that it's going to happen, right? You're gonna lose some stuff. Squats are one of those things where practice seems to be like, if I'd squat twice a week, right? If I miss one of those days, I feel like I lost a lot. But usually you didn't lose as much as you think you did. It might not be as comfortable But if you adjust your expectations and expect that, yeah, they're going to be lower, just don't let it change the way you approach the lift mentally. The way you approach the lift mentally should still say, I'm going to do the best that I can no matter what. And then you adjust to what your body is like able to produce, and it'll come back faster than you think. Things that take a long time to build take a long time to kind of generally dissipate for good. But you can feel really off your game very quickly. So give yourself a couple of sessions. Give yourself a week or two back at it and see how much better you feel before you start making any kind of real assessments. Because in that moment, when you're kind of in the traumatic moment of like, oh no, my expectations and my reality aren't matching up, that's the time when you're most vulnerable to having negative mental states, and so you want to avoid that. Sean, are my warm-ups usually this fast-paced? When I'm not streaming, they tend to be pretty quick. Recently, I've been trying to speed up, and for this session specifically, I'm trying to go a little faster on the warm-up since I don't need time in between them. Because I need time in between my work sets, because those are the sets that are going to be challenging. So, John, you sure that I've answered this before, but what is my conventional best versus sumo best? Doesn't have to be competition. On a deadlift bar, I've pulled 800 sumo. On a stiff bar, I've done a beltless pause dead with 750 and a regular pull at 760. My best conventional ever, I think I've never gone over trying to triple 655. So that's the heaviest I've ever bothered to go. Andres, who packages the Ben Rice t-shirts that are available on the Strength Crew site? I do. If the site's up and running, if we get an order, it comes to me and I send those out. Good afternoon. Hello, Drummer J. Drummer Edge 20. J Cream, eat more. Thanks for the advice. And yeah, that's eating a lot of carbs and drinking water. Yep, you just have to kind of work through it, J Cream. Delu, I took an unplanned week off. My squat feels terrible, like my technique worsened and it's ticking you off. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit to kick it back into gear. One of the reasons why it's why some people have to practice so much. Like I said, if I tend to squat twice a week, and if I take one of those sessions off, the next one feels kind of off kilter. But a lot of the times that's just in your perception of how it's supposed to feel. And so if you adjust your perspective, if you adjust the way that you're expecting it to go, then you tend to not get yourself sucked into an unrealistic expectation. Just focus on being mindful of how you're actually feeling, giving yourself honest, critical feedback, accepting your situation, committing to working on it no matter what. And also, a quote I saw the other day that I really enjoyed was, forgive yourself every night before you go to bed for not being perfect, and then recommit to starting up and trying again the next day every morning. And I think that's how it should go. Don't beat yourself up. Okay, we're gonna do a 605 single here. Again, still over under while we get closer to the 700s, because I don't want to waste my thumbs on these other sets, even at the expense of them not feeling as good. Again, adjusting my expectations. I don't expect these to move very well considering the circumstances. But I'm not going to let that inhibit me committing fully to them, because your expectations don't shape your capability. Okay. let the wonky loading fool you. 675 on the bar for the first working set. Oh no, 675 or 670? Oh, did I? Let me check. We'll check. Shouldn't really matter at this range, to be honest. But I've got a lot of singles to get through. It's supposed to be 670. Oop. Okay. That's speed though. How tall am I? Power lifts? I am 5, almost 10. I think we've decided 5, almost 10. So 5'9" plus. Yeah. Sean, when can we expect you on Mark Bell's Powercast? Oh man, I missed him when I was down there in California. I got to hang out with Mike and Jim for my when I was down in Cali for my A Cappella group's tour, and then Mark happened to have that whole week off. He was in Mexico, and so it was just kind of an unfortunate thing, but Jim told me next time I'm down there we'd try to make it happen, so we'll see. Kerbra, moving today, boy. Been looking like you're gonna have one of those days. Let's go. We're just gonna have one of the days. We're gonna have one of the days. Drummer, just good to catch one of your live streams for once, Coach. Always watch after the fact. Well, I'm glad you were able to make it. I'm glad that this is working out. I wasn't sure. Frost Eddie, have you heard anything good about the Lico powerlifting belt? I don't know anything about it, so I can't give an opinion. Andreas, how many times have people made Uncle Ben's rice-related jokes during their childhood? Pretty much the whole time. That and like, oh, are you missing any family members? We had rice last night. What? Yeah, got me good, guys. You got me good. I can't read those characters for the name, but Ben, do you think that Westside Barbell club training methods work? That's a very broad statement, right? I think that a lot of things can work. I think a lot of things do work. I think that the biggest choices need to be determined for what works best for a particular lifter, for a particular style of training. And I think you can make an argument for a lot of different things. Obviously, there's guys who train at Westside. If everybody who trained at Westside had no results and used those methods, there was no results at all, then you could say it didn't work. But the fact that even one person would ever have results with that style of training, it can work, right? The method can work. So that's all there is to it. Also, for someone who's never lifted a weight before, they could go and ride a bike and probably improve their squat. So, John, when's the last time you got angry? You always seem nice. I try to be nice. I am not always successful. I fail that plenty of times in my life. I try not to track the angry time. Right? I make mental notes of when I get angry and why I get angry, but I try to... here we go. Here's a way to think about it. I get angry often, but I have been practicing a lot on how quickly I can dissipate and come down from that anger. I think, because you can't control when you get angry. No one can. No one can control getting angry. All you can control is the effect that you let that anger have over you externally, because it will always have an internal thing. So, thanks, J Cream. Appreciate that, brother. Shout outs to J Cream for the generous donation in the super chat. Gave a lot of good info throughout these streams. Well, I try my best, man. Try my best. That's why I do them. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna take the extra 5 pounds off this working set, and if it comes back to bite me in the batucus later on, then lesson learned. But I don't have time. I don't got time to bleed or to use change plates. Because we go this, then we'll go 10 pounds more, then we get into the 2 working sets I'm really concerned about. And then the back offs, and we'll kind of assess from there where we're at and what the time frame is. Hoo-ah! Not gonna lie, this is actually probably the heaviest over-under pull that I've done in a long time. No, this ties it. This ties it. Since probably before the Arnold, since all my other top sets have been hooked. That'll be fun though. Assuming nothing falls apart. Let's go. Get my chair out of the way from the camera. There you go. Too bad. Not too bad for the garbage over under grip. Okay. Cool. 675 moving all right. Especially considering that I'm in my over-under. So, trying to save these thumbs for the singles over 700, honestly. Boom, doom, 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 doom. John, $7. John, I haven't registered for Nats yet, but I'm going to. So much of my focus has shifted to the meet at the end of this month. So, power lifted. Why do I have 2 bars? This is my Ohio power bar. That's my Texas power bar. I started out with, actually I had a different Texas and I used it for 3 weeks and dropped it on a squat, bent it, and then had to use a bent Texas bar for 6 months, which was not fun. I drained some real mental toughness. Eventually replaced it with that one. And then when I got this one, this is closer to competition specs, and it's actually the stiffest bar, I think, that you can pull on in US APL or an IPF competition. So I prefer using this one. That I use for mobility. I put it in the racks, and I made a video a ways back that basically what I do is I put it in the safeties and I roll out. I called the video Sacrifice to Win, and it's 30 minutes of me talking about all the stuff that you do into the, oh, whoa. Sorry? Wow, thank you so much, Steve. Steve Gabriel with the incredibly generous donation says, I've been following you pretty silently for 5 years or so now. You've taught me a lot and it's very much appreciated. Well, your support and continuing to stick with it for this long is very much appreciated, as well as that very generous donation, my friend. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Next pull is dedicated to you, my friend, for that. So I guess I better make it real good. Yeah, powerlifter though. I use that bar almost exclusively now for mobility and warming up purposes. If any time when I'm having to move quickly through a session and have plates left over, I can set up a different bar. It works great. It's got competition standards for everything except for the tensile strength, so it's just a little whippier. And then I have a deadlift, Texas deadlift bar back there from when I used to compete in federations that use deadlift bars. That's what I pulled my 800-pound deadlift on. So yeah. Andreas, the deadlift bar is back behind there. It's not even out so that you guys can't see it and get any crazy ideas. Brendan, any tips for people that pull sumo in terms of technique? So many. Watch every sumo puller you can, because we all pull it a little differently. You have to find a way that fits your mechanics versus the way that fits someone else's mechanics. There's a reason that there's so many people who have slightly different looking pulls, and it's not, you know, a lot of people make sure that you're engaging your lats, making sure that you're making your arms as long as possible, not just pulling back like this, because a lot of people pull back and they shrug. Pull back, get engagement in that middle of your back, and then down. Keeping those lats engaged and keeping that engagement is going to help a lot in any way that you're pulling. Yeah. Steve threw me off a little bit with that donation. That's you're the stream king, my friend. Angelo, so Andreas, you're talking about the belt. And Steve, freaking Steve, man. Fun fact, Steve. My girlfriend can attest to this. Anytime that I'm naming a character or anything, my default, anytime I need a name to fill in like a joke or something, Steven is always what I just yell. I think I got that from Toby Turner back in the Dizzy. If you have any questions, Steve, please shoot them up. You got some priority right now. I'm gonna hit this 685 though first, since we're still in the over-under stage. That's how you can tell when you respect a weight, if you have to hook grip it or not, and we're going to hook everything over 7 today, but that's, wow. Thanks, Steve. Let's light it up until our hearts catch fire. All right. $705 up. Too bad. 30 minutes in for that one, so over under, not bad. Definitely way more in the tank. I don't even know how to rate that RPE wise, which I guess is a good place to be. Simon, hey Ben, cheers from Canada. Hello, greetings. It's nice to see people sharing the same passion for drug-free lifting. Keep it up. Oh, keep up the great work. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, that is my chosen path, and I love sharing it with other people. So, appreciate you hanging out. You gotta run, fellas. See you later, Gerber. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Peace. John, have you done any outside recovery procedures like professional massages or cryotherapy? I've had chiropractic work done in the past. Now I do a whole lot of soft tissue work myself through self-massage, mobility work. Again, I take that barbell out, put it on the safeties, and I'll roll out, 30 to 30 minutes to an hour a day. Lacrosse ball work, all sorts of stuff. Steve, I will when I need to. You give so much info all the time. Like I said, I watch you and listen regularly and learn a lot already. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad that what I'm doing is able to be beneficial to some people. You'll watch and listen to the rest tomorrow while lifting, like I always do. Have a good one, Ben. You as well, sir. Thanks so much. Thank you. Oh, man. Whew. Goodness gracious. 30 minutes in. What did I rate this? I said if I started at noon and I finished all of the deadlifting in under 90 minutes, then we'd be okay. Okay. So we're doing all right. And I've only got 2 crazy not even crazy. I hyped this session up way more in my brain, I think. Bye, Steve. You will never be forgotten. Oh, no, stream. Come on. Don't do that. I'm watching you. Is there anything else on the network? Got the flies are out today. Price to be paid for some better lighting and an open garage door. Man, I feel ready already. These singles don't ever take a whole lot out of me unless they're beating up my thumbs. What do you guys think? Should I try to pull this 705 over under and save the hook grip just for the 725? No, let's do it anyway. I don't want to be a wuss. Don't be a wuss, Ben. Lift the weights. Am I ready? I feel like I'm ready. Go hook, yeah. We'll hook it. Hook it! I'm gonna double check, make sure that my camera's pointed at the right thing. Charleston thinks hook grip. Y'all want to see me cry in the best way. The rep will move faster hooked, for sure. Just be a little less comfortable. I'm very happy that this is not bugging as much. The other day when I initially had an issue, I was going to post it on Instagram. I didn't post it. I sent it to my coaches and I sent it to a couple of people to check. Squatted 646 on Thursday. So went 590, 622, and then 646. Not at a 10. The bar whip got me a little bit. I got to the bottom and I kind of miscrew forward a little bit, and so it gave me a little bit of struggle in my erector spinae right here in the middle of the back, right off to the right side of my spine, which then I did 550 for my back off triples and 580 for another single as a back off. And the hardest part was that I couldn't, every time I tried to breathe, my rib cage would expand and I'd try to get a bracing breath in, and it would kind of catch. And so I laid on a lacrosse ball for like 2 hours yesterday, and actually the night afterwards, trying to get it to loosen up so that I would be able to do this session, because this session's just been in my brain. I don't know why. Just the fact that it's maybe because of how much my hands were getting torn up last week. And I knew that I was going to be on a time crunch. And now I'm stalling when I don't have time to stall. So here we go. We're going to check the camera, though. That's something we still need to do. So I'm pretty sure this isn't even an opener weight, so I shouldn't stress about it. Yeah, a little bit of shock from going from no hook to straight into the hook, I guess, but I'm not mad at it. Is it worth? This tape slipped a little bit on that one. That's fine. I just watched it back. It looked actually a little faster than it felt. That's always nice. Okay. Oops, didn't mean to do that. If you make all of yourself chalky, it doesn't look like you're as chalky. Is my video behind? There's like a 10-second delay. Just from the nature of it, tries to buffer so that we can see things. Should be fine. I don't think people are messaging things, Andreas. That happens sometimes. The traffic can slow down. Okay, that was 38 minutes. Yeah, I see your guys' comments as soon as they come in, but then when I talk back, it has a little bit of a time to get to you guys. Maybe no one cared that it was a 7:05 pull. It's all right. Okay. Sean J, any advice on beginner basic rep set schemes for bench and deadlift? Look up just basic stuff. I would say for the best advice I could give would be to check out some of the research behind training and structure in general. Either hop on to a cookie cutter that's made for beginners, or check out someone like Eric Helms, who's made video series things in the past about setting up programming. Something like his strength training pyramid, Eric Helms strength training pyramid, and it's like a 6 or 7 video series, and it really goes over a lot of the breadth of programming. I was going to make a series of videos about programming, but Eric already made one, and it's way more comprehensive than one that I would have made. In the future, I might try to put out something that's like a condensed version. But in general, if you want to know more, you need to look for a little bit more. But there are a lot of programs that are good, that are out there. Things that people are still doing and putting out there for a generalized beginner. Not that hard to find them. I'm gonna call you X, name I can't read the characters of. What is my training program? I have 2 coaches, Eric and Hanny from The Strength Athlete, and they do all my programming for me. So it changes based off of what we kind of talk about, and they make adjustments to my training, and I try my best to follow what they say and be as coachable as possible, even if I disagree, which is important. If you disagree with your coach, listen to your coach, or don't be coached by them, because the only way you can tell if your coach knows what they're doing or if they're making you better is if you listen to what they're saying. Because if you start adjusting things on your own, thinking that you know better, then why even bother having a coach? Andreas, what's my favorite color? My favorite shirt color? The limited edition shirts. I like them all, man. I like them all. The purple, if they still have any purple, tend to run small. But all the other ones, I rotate them. I try not to wear them as much on stream, because then I just feel like I'm kind of self-aggrandized when I'm doing that. Do we risk it? think we'll risk it. I think we'll risk it for this last set and just expect that I'm not going to tear anything. Ale Spider, I'm sure it's been asked a lot, but how frequently do you deadlift? I deadlift twice a week and have for a long time. So squat twice a week, I deadlift twice a week, I bench 4 days a week. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm thinking too much about it, though. Just gotta do it. Just gotta do it. Last heavy set, then the back offs. You're welcome, sir. Ugh. Pretty sure I didn't. I'm gonna double check my math real quick because I am mostly sure that I got it right, but you can never be too careful. 655, 725. Okay, just making sure. You're ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. We ready. Up in here. Up in here. Y'all are going to make me go all out. Up in here. Up in here. Would you consider doing a strongman comp? I have done one, Sean. I've done one, and I did pretty well. It was a local, semi-local. It was Washington's Strongest Apple. What year? 2011. I did okay. They didn't have an overhead event, or else I probably wouldn't have done so well. I'm not opposed to the idea of doing another one in the future. Right now, my focus is definitely just on powerlifting, though, and I don't think that I'm gifted enough to just switch focus on a whim and have it go well. But maybe in the future, I'll get good enough where I think that I can have that luxury. It's funny, Andres. I'm just now seeing your comment as I was reaching up for it. That's an example of the delay that we're working with here. So I will know about 10 or 15 seconds before this deadlift happens whether or not you guys are going to see if I get it or not. Ooh, the suspense. Do this. Tapies, why? I don't know why I tape some. I don't need this much chalk, to tell you the truth. I do not need this much chalk for these, but it's kind of a... When people ask about how you chalk your hands and stuff, because I get that question a little bit, I think it's more of a kind of catharsis for me of like the ritual of chalking your hands too much and just feeling confident that it's not going to be slipping. Do I want to... This feels loose. Do I risk it? This is what tore on the 750. Then again, I'll have to do it again if I miss because this slips. Why am I talking about missing? That's not even gonna happen. We'll save the thumb. This is easy weight. We'll make it easy. Answer my own question for me here. All right. Won't miss. Stop worrying. Yeah. You guys. All right. 49 minutes in. I think that's actually normally when I... Yeah, I took way too long for that. If that was 49 minutes, I did not need that much time. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, all right. Well, that was a session I didn't need to worry about for a while. Neil, easy lift. Thank you. Felt actually pretty good. It did try to slip on this right hand with the tape. If it was a comp and that was like an opening lift for me, I probably would have taped for my last warm-up, and then I would have redone the tape before taking that lift. But not bad, not bad. All I've got left here is, man, I wanted to triple that so bad. Although I wanted to triple that so bad, but Eric and Hanny would not have been pleased with me if I would have been a naughty little Benjamin and tripled it. Question mark on that. And then for back offs are 660 for 2 doubles. Though because we are on a time crunch, I might... Oh, man. Maybe I'll do a quick double, then do a reset, and then do another double. I'm thinking to myself, should I just do 4 reps in a row to knock them out? But I think the reason that we have them listed as 4 doubles is to get more first rep, or as 2 doubles to get more first reps. And I am doing okay in terms of the time frame, surprisingly. As long as I don't botch these and then also botch the bench press in terms of my pacing, then I might be able to get out of here without having to cut the work. Because initially I thought I might have to cut the workout and come back and do it later. Coaches say no combining sets. I know that, but coaches also want me to finish the workout. A double-double. So here's what we do. We won't combine the set, okay? Best of both worlds. We won't combine the set. I will do the first set, the first double, and then I will fully reset. I'll let go of the bar, and then we'll do the next double without taking an excessive amount of time in between, right? Because then that's still 2 sets, just with a reduced rest period. Arthium, Ben, what do you think about your progress over the years? It's been very slow at times, completely stopped at times. I've had many stages of my lifting career where I've not made the best decisions in terms of knowing things. And I think that's one of the awesome advantages that people kind of getting into the sport now have, is the information's so readily available. Most of the things I learned, I had to learn by doing the wrong thing first and figuring it out. I would never take a new lifter and put them on the same track that I was in terms of how they programmed or how they went about things. I think it built a lot of real deep understanding. Not to be disrespectful at all, but arguably has been a slow few years of progression. How do you deal with that mentally? Maybe not as quick as you'd like or think. I've been doing it long enough that my expectations are to just work as hard as I can. That's all I can base things on, which is why I don't worry so much about numbers. If I'm trying my best and maybe someone else's best is way, way higher. Their potential is way higher than mine, and all I have to work with is what I have to work with. But I think I'm making better decisions now. I've seen some really positive progress. My deadlift consistency has gone up through the roof. A couple years ago, 725 in a session would have been kind of hit or miss, and now I feel like I could load it up any day. So I don't think it's disrespectful. Yeah, Rob, I think it's less that the deadlift itself has really gone up, but my consistency from when I switched to the hook grip has been huge. My bench press is deceptively better, even if the numbers don't look like it when someone would just see those, because from a qualitative perspective, my squats are deeper than they used to be. There's less technique breakdown. I can handle heavier weights with more confidence now, in terms of I'm not worried if I'm going to be able to get the rep or not. And also, I went from being a lifter who competed with knee wraps to competing without them. So some of those and like I went from a lifter who competed with a big arch off my toes with a raised head on the bench press to now I compete pretty much flat backed with my feet flat and my head has to stay on the bench. So there's a lot of things that that have changed in terms of the qualitative aspect of my lifts, and I think those have gone up a lot. But I'm not going to sit here and argue that my numbers have shot through the roof in the last couple of years. I would be kind of crazy to think that they would. The mental approach that I have had to take for that, because it is true. The further along you get, the closer you get to your potential best, the slower the progress comes, the harder you have to work for exponentially less and less straight up progress. I still think that I haven't been able to execute to the best of my ability in a meet yet, and I think that when that happens, then I'll have a better representation of the progress I feel that I've made. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into all this. Robert, Ben, you're 12 hours early. Yeah. Well, I can't be late. I gotta go sing the national anthem in Tacoma in a couple hours. So, Andreas, well, Ben is a very elite lifter, so progress should be slow. I would freak out if he would still make massive gains at this level. I think last year was insane in terms of progress. Yeah, I think that Eric, Hanny, and myself have kind of found a bit of a rhythm to kind of what's working with me, but we've learned a lot of things the other way too, right? I will also straight up say that I stayed in a lower weight class maybe a little longer than I should have in terms of my ability to progress, because I was having to deal with not injuries, but little nagging deficiencies where I'd lose time from a training cycle because I'd kind of get a little bit hurt and have to work around something. And moving up a weight class has been helping me stay healthier throughout more of the training. So I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses. My progress is what it is, and I try to do all I can to continue to improve. Rob, tell Bryce that elite lifters need to slow down. I love Bryce dearly. His big explosion of lifting prowess came from when he went from a 205 to 231, and he admittedly, even self-admittedly, made way more progress from that. He benefited way more from that weight jump than just about anybody else I've ever seen. Because he wasn't a bad lifter at 205, but he was not anywhere close to the level of competitive that going up that weight class really, really helped him become. So I'm really excited for him and Garrett at Worlds, and I think it's going to be a really good showing. I'm telling them both I want them both to do their best. That's my ideal world meet for them. All right. I didn't dump my training. Let's light it up, let's light it up from the heart scratch fire. Oh, catharsis. Alright, so 660 on the bar, about 300 kilos. 2 doubles. Let's see how these go. Alright. hardest part of that was the way that the skin gets kind of tender after you do it. And then you have to go back and grab the bar again. Awkward. But I'll take it. Yeah, I tried to slip a little bit on that second set. Garrett, hello friend. Just mentioned you and how excited I am to see you and Bryce go get some work done in Belarus, my friend. Whew. Goodness. Well, 30 minutes faster than the expected pace. I'll take it. I will take it. Well, you're very generous, Andreas. The second set was a little slippy in the hand from the skin. I was hesitant to squeeze the bar as hard, but I'll take it. Work with what you got. And Eric and Hanny can't get mad because that was 2 doubles. That was not 1 set of 4. So I did not go off book. Actually, I have time to do some benching. Wasn't sure if we were going to get to it in this workout or if I'd have to come back and hit it tomorrow. Huzzah! Need that falling over again. Oh, big old bee. Hornet? You're a hornet, you're not a bee. Please go away. I don't want to have to defeat you as I did with your comrade. Actually, lazy Ben is lazy. He doesn't even sound like he wants to be hanging out in here, but he just won't go away. Be free. You have a world open to you. Ugh. Gotta tuck in the shirt. Let's call it a McDouble. You're right, Andreas. That was not just a McDouble. Ben's cardio is all the unloading, definitely. Rob, glad I don't deadlift that much when I unload the weight. That's definitely the part of the workout that everyone forgets. That and how long it takes just to work up to those weights, right? JD Herc 303, he pulled 250 today for a max. Well, congrats. Congrats on the max. We all start out down there, man. And you know how many guys off the street would come in and pull that? Not as many as someone would think. All right. When your recovery is basically for the unload. That's just silly. Andres, he's become the deadlift jack. Nah, man, it's part of the workout. It's like that old the parable or a fable where someone was trying to get strong, so they carry up the calf up the hill every day, and eventually it gets bigger and they get stronger. Becomes an ox, and eventually they're trucking up an ox. Basically the fable or the parable of progressive overload. Same thing with the stronger you get, you have to unload your weights, right? That's where the real work gets done. That's it. All right. Resting because lazy, not because needed at this point. Let's go. Bench is uneven. We'll make it work. Oh, forgot about those. Slows things down. Well, any hope of lazily doing these has kind of gone away because I've got right here and right here from squats on Thursday, there's just a big hole in my shoulders where it just kind of tore the skin right off. That's fun, but unfortunately, that's right where if I'm not, I kind of have to try and arch past that. If this was a late night stream, Ben would still be at 405 on deadlifts. That trash talking. Yeah, well, I guess necessity breeds acceleration or something. Joe, once you become a sponsored pro, then you have bros load and unload for you. Ask Eric L. I used to be a sponsored lifter, and I make a full-time living from this, so technically I guess that makes me a pro. I still rack and unrack my stuff. Andrea, someone should make an animated series about Ben deadlifting and fighting against an evil bench demon named Maku, and it should be called Deadlift Jack. I see what you did there. Clever girl who was a guy. Clever guy. That was only a 4-minute transition, though. From... Although I probably didn't... about. Start time at 1:05. Trash talk. I don't think it's trash talk. It's honesty. It's honesty. I accept it. When I'm not a speedy man, I gotta go sing a song, friends. And you can't be the guy going to a bodybuilding show, singing the national anthem, and not be there on time. Joe, you'll come rack weights for me? I appreciate it, man. But, like I said, the secret is the progressive overload of racking and unracking your weights. That's the real work right there. Anybody can stand still and lift a weight. Ugh. Doing all that other stuff, though? Andreas, that's not an insult, my friend. I lift like a girl. There's some pretty strong girls. There's some pretty strong ladies out there now. Oh, it's not even in the way. Let's see if I can arch past the squat scars. See if that's, if not, I'll just have to suck it up. But man, it doesn't feel good. Yeah, it's a little better. Well, if anything, that'll be a good gauge as to whether or not I'm being hecka lazy or not. Because if I'm lazy and I'm not getting my shoulders retracted enough, then these are going to hurt way more than normal. I don't know if you guys saw me move the bench back with that setup. That was kind of cute. Philly bench. Last warm up, so I'll do that, then I'll hit up the questions that I'm missing right now. And I'm just now on my screen walking to the bench. So if you guys have an idea of how long the delay is. Oh wow, and I'm just now sitting on the bench. That feels longer than normal. Maybe it's a change for the latency. Lift the weight. I'm watching back. I'm reviewing my footage. Yeah, that actually moved pretty well. Sweet. I guess we'll start clamping these. Let's light it up, let's light it up until our hearts catch fire. Cool. Cool. We in this, fam. Alright, what'd I miss? Not much. Robert, face when I first deadlift 405, then saw a girl deadlifting 455 for doubles, ripped my soul. Joe, I'm glad to see that you're earning from the sport you gave your heart and soul to. Well, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Honestly, the thing about it is it only exists. Yeah, blah blah blah. It only exists if other people are willing to kind of come along with me on it. So definitely a community-made man, I guess, not self-made. Ben, the reps move too fast for your PC. That's it. No, this is a longer delay than I'm used to. Usually it's only about 7 or 8 seconds. X, how old are you? Keep calling me X. It's awesome. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that my inability to to understand how to read your name is a beneficial thing. I'm 27 right now. I'll be 28 October 4th. So 27. Yeah, 27. That's right. I always every year it takes me a few months literally to remember, like, when people ask me how old I am, because I don't celebrate my birthday really. The people in my life celebrate it for me, so I'm not like complaining about that. I never really had anything. But once I was 18 and could drive, that was the only real birthday I was looking forward to. You're a 90s kid, JD Hurt? Because I'm an 1989. I'm an 80s kid, technically. All y'all young millennials. Old man Ben can't remember. Hey, what are you talking about? Yeah, I remember in my day, used to walk uphill both ways. What? X's birthday is the 8th of October. Nice. My best friend Adam's birthday is October 16th. It's a little bit of New Orleans Saint trivia for you there if you guys are football fans. Did 2 there, did 1 there, 350 on the bar. Oh, J.D. Herc, but I grew up with Jurassic Park. I was in what was the store? I think it was in an H.H. Gregg appliance or computer store, and I was in the TV section when I was a kid, and I saw the raptor scene from the original Jurassic Park, and it terrified me, and I didn't watch the full movie until I was like basically a teenager. So, Robert, I was born June 25th, 1989. I will always remember your age for you. Thanks, friend. Thanks. See? Got my back. Joe, yes, not in the IPF specifically, USAPL. I've done 1 IPF meet. It was the Deadlift Invitational at the Arnold. So I'm competing USAPL, and IPF is it's the IPF affiliate, I guess. We have the same uphill both ways joke in Germany. There you go. Guten Morgen, schöne Müllerin. Wie steckst du gleich Kümpchen hin? That's when I was studying vocal performance in college. That's like the only German song I remember. Sonntag. Yeah. Fun fact. So my pronunciation and grammar is probably terrible, but I do remember most of that song. We'll do the first without. Yeah. We'll make the other ones feel easier by making the first one harder, he said, and tried. Sometime that was amazing. Joshua Torres, any warm-ups before sumo deads? I do a general barbell warm-up, kind of just a little complex before I do anything. Squats, bench, deads. It's usually like empty bar. Actually, I'll just, because I'm going to take a couple before this next set, I'll demonstrate it real quick. So other than just general mobility work, am I going to hit that? No, I shouldn't. Hopefully hopefully not. If you guys see a light exploding above me, it's just special effects for production value. Other than just regular mobility work, I will start every session with something similar to this. And it's good to kind of re-warm up for the bench too, to stay mobile. But empty barbell, usually some Romanian deadlifts focusing on hip activation, rows, a couple of cleans, and usually I do some reaches like this to get some shoulder mobility in. A couple of little front squats. And I do this little reach thing and get some shoulder mobility by... I wouldn't recommend this if you don't know what you're doing. This is maybe an advanced-ish kind of thing, because you could probably mess yourself up pretty bad if you didn't have some stability in your shoulders. Some good morning type things. Some twisties. But not just, you're intentional. You got to be intentional about everything. Some stabilization. Again, the core has to stay solid even if you're rotating. I'm not laxly doing any of this stuff. Some kind of tempo, squattish type stuff. The idea is just kind of getting through some movement and keeping activation and demonstrating control in all the lifts that you're doing here, all the movements. Yeah, so I tend to do something like that. Obviously, I do it more extended, a couple of reps at each of those types of things to just get some activation, get some movement going, and then I'll move into warming up with the light weights and just kind of work my way up into the main working sets. So I'm a proponent of that style of warm-up. Thank you, Vincent. Ooh. Squatter tips for switching from conventional to sumo. Focus on your mobility and your positions at the start. If you're having a hard time creating stability in the bottom position, maybe start off of blocks and work your way down closer and closer to the floor so that you're building stability as you are also becoming more mobile enough to get down there. But that's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference, is the hip mobility required to be able to get into a good position for the sumo, and then patience off the floor. It's gonna feel worse off the ground if you're pulling sumo. Even if you're a sumo puller and you try to pull conventional off the ground will feel easier. But you have to be way more patient off the ground, because you want to default. You're trading a less optimal starting position for a better finishing position, and a more biomechanically supported finishing position. So you just have to keep that in mind and be patient with it and give yourself time. Start light. Whenever you're switching techniques or switching to something else, you have to start light so that you give yourself time to actually make the adjustments. The red panda has a bunch of panda faces and paws. Thank you for that, friend. Panda paws. Andreas, I am not bilingual. Oh, and I missed your Panda. I missed your first thing. There could be an avalanche with all those boxes. Almost had that one over there fall over, sitting here, and it kind of shifted. So, living in a world of danger. Danger. Your name is Danger. Squatter, thanks. Keep that in mind. You demand. Thank you, sir. Appreciate. Wait, those are regular pandas. A communist panda, to be specific. Commie pandas. All up in here. Oh, man. Can you guys see that? The skin? That wasn't even from the hook grip. That's just, it's been falling off this week. That little pad isn't, just Feels great. Sean Connery. Yes. Bond. James Bond. Joe, this is not the same garage from 6 to 8 months ago. Actually, I've switched garages like many. I've moved like 6 times in the last 2 years. So. And moving again within this year. Those are not normally that hard to get on. Must be swole today. Red Panda, do I put tape on my hand to mitigate the torn calluses from deadlift? Yes. I actually have a video on my channel that talks about how I tape for tears. This isn't a tear. This is just, the skin is just falling off. Kind of gross, I guess. Yeah, check out my my coaching tips series videos a couple videos ago, or maybe the last one in that playlist on the channel. So it's on like the front page of the channel. I talk about taping for hook grip for training, taping for hook grip for competitions, and then taping for callus management if you get a tear in a contest. Crawling in bench skin, the storms they will not heal. I've been listening to so many mashups of things. Adorable. Adorable, son. That's just cute. Okay. Man, I am a slow little Benjamin for these bench presses. Austin, just learned of you a few months ago when I was looking into Washington State powerlifting records. Big fan. Well, thank you. Where in Washington do you live? Currently residing in Montesano, Washington. Recently moved from Ellensburg, Washington. Going to move back to the I-5 corridor in the next couple of months. And then, yeah. Today, the reason we're working out so early is so that I can get up to the Tangi Johnson Classic in Tacoma to sing the national anthem for the night show. And I figure that if I leave before 3, then I should make it there on time. So my plan initially was going to work out as much as I could and then cut the stream at like 2:30. So I'd be out the door no matter what. Even if I wasn't done working out, I would just finish the workout when I got home. But we're actually moving okay. Though, the deadlift moved way faster than the benching is. Robert, it's just going to be me singing. The group couldn't get together and learn as much as everybody knows the national anthem around here. Getting an acceptable arrangement together and having a group not butcher it just proved too tough because of our schedules. We couldn't get a rehearsal in. And I still had told Tangi that I'd be willing to. I said either I will do it or the group will do it, but no matter what, you have a singer. So she's got me. There we go. So, I'm going to hit this next set, and then I'll come back to the next little bits of questionings or thoughts or whatever you guys do. They don't always have to be questions. Lazy man is lazy. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Okay. Austin, national anthem singer too. Nice. Also, even though I'm nowhere near as strong as you, I'm coming for that record. Ever been in the Longview, Kelso area? I definitely have. I think my grandpa lives there, actually, near Kelso. What record are you referring to, Austin? I'm not actually sure which one. Is it the 93s? You take it, sir. You take those records. Alex, hey, it's my first year of college in Ellensburg. Well, have fun. Have fun. I like it over there. I think if the plan wasn't to move back over here and be closer to the girlfriend, I probably would still be over there. isn't Kelso, that guy from Scrubs. Let's go. Joe, these are the SBD flexible wraps. They're 1 meter. And some Ray-Ban, generally pretty loose elbow sleeves. I think the fact that I'm got a light sweat going on is making them look like they're tougher to get on than they usually would be. But, was that the second set? That was the second set, boys. That means the 2 top sets are coming up, which means I can't even wear these. I think it was the 93s, yeah. Austin, yeah, I've moved up to the 105s. So I'm looking to maybe reset some of those, because I think I only did I did 2 competitions at 93. I did my qualifier for last year's nationals, and then I did nationals, and so it was a 93 at nationals. Those, I only have a 645 squat, bench irrelevant, like 375, and then probably 722 would be the deadlift record, and then for the 105s, 650, and then 750 should be the Washington State records, I think. But those are gonna be probably higher at the end of the month. Red Panda Chester is still on the mass gain program. Yep. He's a good little fat cat. Lewis, evening. It's evening there in the UK. Well, it's early afternoon for me. So, Austin, no sleeves for the top sets. Yes, sir. The way that I go about it is that because I do so much bench volume throughout the week, I bench 4 days a week, and a lot of them, it's just so much on the elbows, plus having to low bar squat twice a week. The tendonitis could be a thing, so I wear the elbow sleeves as a preventative measure for my volume stuff, but I've seen too many people have the problem where they forget that all of their training was done with elbow sleeves. You're not allowed to wear elbow sleeves in competition. And so anytime I do a top set or anything where it's RPE based, where I'm going to have to decide what my next set is going to be, where it's almost a test of strength or to see where engage where it's at, then I always make sure that I don't have my thumb loops on, and that I take these off, and that I try to make the reps as competition legal as possible, so that I never go into a competition with a false understanding of what my capability is. And usually I tend to bench a little better at competitions if I don't mess things up, because my bench is not good. That's the first upgrade to this home gym that's currently on the list right now, is getting a competition specs bench or something even just a little bit closer, maybe the right height and width, even if it's the same slick, ugly material. But yeah, that's how I did it again, boys. I always get distracted and wrap my wrists too early. I haven't even picked the top weight yet, and so I've got to pick it, load it, and then do it. Where are we at? Last week we did 365 and 375. Got 2 weeks left. 375. I didn't put an RPE for that. We've been hitting 350 for doubles so far, so we're 2 sets in. Another thing, Austin, that I do with my benching is I always make if I have a top set, or in this case 2 top sets, I make sure that I do some of the other work first, since your third attempt is always going to be your heaviest one. Usually in a competition, it should be your heaviest one, right? And so I always save my top sets for the third set so that it feels correct. I don't know. We'll go 375 since it's only a 25-pound jump, and then we'll assess from there and see what the next one's going to be. Robert, going to move in with a girlfriend or live elsewhere. In the same area at least, figuring out that situation. She's working like crazy right now. She's got 2 full-time jobs. I'm trying to make sure, we're basically just trying to make sure that whatever makes the most sense financially for us is going to be the direction we take. At least that's the plan. I'm really good at having plans. I'm not as amazing at figuring out how to get there, unless it's weightlifting related. It's where my ADHD kicks in, I guess. It's where I can figure this stuff out all day, do it for other people. but figuring out my own life is always a challenge. What frequency percentage do you recommend for someone switching to sumo? Higher frequency with lower percentage so you get more practice at the weights. Josue? I'm butchering it. I'm so sorry. Vincent, I'll be right back. I gotta do at least one of these first, because I am losing some time now, and I can't do that when I gotta get on the road. So. I think. 65, 75, right? 315 plus 50, 365 plus 10 pounds total. 5s on each side, 375. I was lost to my own device. And time fell away with my show. And the world's getting down. The city we lie. All right, so we're gonna find out real fast where this. Woo! Almost hit my microphone. Okay. 380. Well, we'll see how the first one goes, Andreas. Get that clenching down the wrist works. Get swole. Okay, so no matter how this looks, let's just assume it'll look easier if there were like crazy hyphy music going, but that's an example of trying to give excuses before you do it so that no one can be disappointed in you. Bad life practice, don't do that. I say it every time and I always seem to not do it. Let's try not to get lazy and over rest at the bottom. Keep the tension. Did it again! Every time! Oh, biscuits. I just get, if it feels okay in my hands, it always feels too easy and I overestimate the bottom and I just over-relax. That wasn't bad. Like it moved all right, but it could have moved so much better. Mental block in that range. Blame it on the lack of music, he said. No, that's not my fault. It's totally my fault. Boy. Yeah, even was crooked on the way down. What are you doing with your life, Ben? 375. 1 at garbage. That's 38 minutes in. I moved good, sunk a little. Yeah, that's what I mean. The sink was me being too lax at the bottom. I don't know why. I always get so... I give in to the discomfort with that shoulder, my bad shoulder. Just kind of just boop, to try and like... I run out of room here because this is just doesn't like me and doesn't want to behave itself. Biscuits. Where are we at? Sorry, Vincent, do you have any tips to increase adherence to a diet? Even if I know what to do, I have a hard time sticking to this slight caloric surplus. Always end up getting fat too fast. First and foremost, are you tracking? because most of the time people think they overestimate their ability to be accurate in their recollection of what they're eating. So track religiously for a few weeks at least to get in the habit, because a lot of people always say, oh, make your diet fit, but if your diet isn't fitting, you have to adjust what your understanding of what your goals are. Another thing is try to make it visible in your life as to what you're doing and recenter yourself every single morning. Write down a goal. First thing you do when you wake up, write down the goal that I'm going to stick to my diet today. I'm going to be committed to that all day long. Every morning, write that down for yourself if you're having this problem, because it's not as easy as just saying just do it, right? Because you want to do it. It's like with me and fixing my sleeping schedule. It took so long for me to find the way to get through it. And what it took was just having to commit to it every single day with the fresh kind of commitment. It can't be about whether you feel like doing it. It can't be about whether you're motivated or not to do it, because you can't control those. All you can do is make a decision based on the quality of the kind of person you want to be and the goals that you have. Make sure you understand why you're doing it. Make sure you understand why it's important in your life, and link it to something real instead of it just being general. Say this is, and that's one of the things where flexible dieting is misunderstood. In terms of when someone thinks flexible, they think, oh, I can fit a whole bunch of, I can try to get other stuff in there. Flexible just means that you adjust it based off of the situation that, with factors that you can't control, and that you try to have you have your goals that are set without specific foods, but those numbers are pretty much as close as you can get to them, and you just have to make sure that you're recommitting yourself to that decision every day, because you can't rely on motivation, you can't rely on how you feel like doing it, because your body, you're asking it to do something that's unnatural, which is to stick to a certain way of eating, and it takes a little bit more intentionality than just giving yourself a framework and hoping that you can stick to it. It has to be a decision every single day. Shelb, hello. Welcome. Austin, also I feel the ADHD lifting connection. I started streaming. I'd probably end up getting too distracted to lift. Well, normally that's the case. I think Robert made a joke earlier that wasn't a joke. It was a little too real, but it's honest, where he said if this was one of the night streams, that I'd probably still be in 405 right now for my deads. Where in this session we worked up to 705 in under 40 minutes. Worked up to 605 in under 10, and then I started making myself take breaks. Andres is pretty sure Chester would be an amazing multiply bench specialist. He's got the girth for it. Magnus, I do not know my fat-free mass index. That was fast. Looks so easy. You guys are very kind. Too overly critical. Look good. Fast. I'm not. I don't think it's. If it was overly critical, then I'd be in a negative headspace in terms of the approach. I'm trying to say things that I can work on and fix in the next one. If it was something that was beyond my control and I was being negative about it, that's one thing. But those are all things I struggle with in general. And I was crooked off the rip. So, Joe, what was my last comp bench? At the Arnold, we hit 380, and it was too conservative. Because my 375 second attempt was a little grimy. So, Vincent, I've been tracking on and off since 2014. Thanks for the attention. It was a great one. Time to go to bed in France. Sleep schedule is tight. Good luck on the bench. Bye. Well, thank you so much. Andre, these aren't wrapped. This is the pre-wrap. Pre-wrap. That's all this is. Get mad, son. Get mad. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Right? Get out of here, 2.5. I don't need you anyway. Can't keep being scared of the same weights, boys. Maybe don't try this at home. Without a spotter, at least. I just had a really negative thought, and I'm not going to let it permeate. Yeah. Andreas, yeah, the OBS dropped for a sec. But it didn't stay. If it drops to red and it stays at 0 for a while, then I'll refresh it, and hopefully you guys won't even really notice it, but it came back up, so hopefully we don't have to deal with that issue too much. That's a motivation killer, because it gets me distracted, and it tends to just knock out half the viewership of the stream, which I don't care how many people are watching. If the people who are here want to be here, then that's all I care about. But do I give myself cues as I lift, Joe? Kind of. I try to reduce them. I give myself a lot of cues for a lot of different things, and then during the lift, I have to try and focus up and clear my head so I can just focus on effort and have things happen naturally, which is why I keep making the same mistake at the bottom of these, because I try to cue it, but then it comes down to you switch into kind of muscle memory and motor patterns, and because I do have this bum shoulder that I've had for years and years, it defaults to this motor pattern that is just not where it needs to be. So, got to fix that. I'm going to take a second here, guys. And, yeah. I'll tell you guys so you know, the negative thought I had is I haven't adjusted where the safeties sit on this since we removed the 4x6 blocks that used to be under it. So, this is one of those things where definitely don't try this at home, okay? Because I don't know if the bench is set up. It's either going to be a good moment, or if something terrible goes wrong, then you guys are going to see something that's probably really entertaining. As long as the stream doesn't go down, don't you play this game with me, OBS. Don't you do this. I might have to reset it so that you guys don't miss the attempt. It's flirting around with dropping. Don't distract me like this, you silly software. Stay there. Good. 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 We're all right here. We can hang out there. Watching. I'm scared. Don't be scared. I can't. You guys can't be scared. But, yeah. All right. Man, almost psyched myself out there. Got halfway up and my elbow tracking was a little wonky and I had to correct. Ooh. Oh, that'll wake you up. Whew. That'll wake you up in the morning. Goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Whew. Man, that wasn't even a strength wobble. That was a tracking wobble right there. Oh man. Okay, 385. Survived it even with the little misgroove right there. I don't think you could really see it from the front angle, but my bar path and it was crooked because I'm always crooked because my bad shoulder, right? But there was a little bit of a wobble with the elbows. And looked like a misgroove. Yeah. Well, if anything, I'm okay with being able to finish a misgroove rep like that. Whew. The whole lack of someone being here to be able to like save my corpse if things would have gone a little more poorly, I think was a little more present in my mind than I should have let it be. So, learning experience. Oh man. Where are we at? Big Lenny Jr. Shout out from Andres. Well, I don't know where he's at. I don't know where Lenny is. Y'all believe. Well, thank you guys for sending me the energy. Joris, hi Ben. I've been lifting for about a half a year now. I'm always used crappy form and began to work on my technique and my lifts improved. I'm wondering how much technique can improve your lifts. All of it. All of it. No matter how strong you get, if your technique improves, then you will be able to demonstrate your strength stronger. There's less energy leakage in terms of the power that you can generate and the force that you can generate. You always want to maximize the efficiency of your movement as a power lifter for your main lifts. All right, well, it's all downhill from here, guys. That was the highlight, I think. Oh, wonder if we'll take that in competition this time or if I'll play it safe. I don't know. I've had to resign myself to being very patient with my benching progress over the last few years because of how strict the USAPL is with their standards in terms of things like fat feet, my flat feet, and head can't move, and we'll see though. I'm glad I got that in this circumstance with everything going the way it did. Andres, have you ever walked up to a loaded bar in competition and had that feeling that your palms are sweaty, your knees weak, and arms are heavy? Somehow there's vomit on your singlet already. Mom's spaghetti. Oh man. You lost me, Joe? Thanks for letting me watch, bro. Well, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Hopefully the stream stays up for these last 3 sets, and then we're going to have to pretty much cut the stream as soon as we're done with the lifting so that I can get ready to head out to Tacoma to sing that song. Gotta go be a little patriot. Let's change the weight before we tighten those down, shall we? Joris, all right, gotta continue to work on that technique, man. Yeah, well, it's good that you've only been lifting for the short time that you have, because it took me way longer to figure that out. Like, I was working on technique, but I was way more concerned about the weight. If you hone in on that technique, it might take a little longer at the start, but you set yourself up for a much higher potential ceiling instead of guys who get stuck midway through and have to forget bad habits. That's such an underrated consideration, where for having to unlearn bad habits is way more time consuming in the long run. So even if a person who's just focusing on moving as much weight as possible kind of jumps out to a lead at the start, if you ingrain good habits and positional awareness and lift efficiency as your strength progresses, you're gonna that other person's gonna get stuck, and you're just gonna keep getting stronger. Right, Panda, can I sing the Chinese national song, please, instead? I don't know it. I don't know what the. I've heard it said that Mandarin Chinese is like one of the most difficult languages to learn for a non-native speaker, right? tell if I'm losing people or if I'm just losing enthusiasm because all the main stuff is done. That's okay. That's okay. 3 more doubles here at 350. About 350 on the bar. Just refreshed finally. It looks okay from my side, so maybe I'm missing something from the source. It might be on your end, potentially. Because I've had the one drop, but it was a very minimal drop. That was one. About. I'm going to write down that I misgrooved that so I know for myself. And we're just going to hit this first one here. 10s, 5, 2. 10, 5, 2. So even if it's not right together. Which is the important thing to remember. I am back now. It does. Let's try to take this one seriously too, see if I can get a little bit more practice in that mental state of intention and intensity. Tried to correct the bar angle. We'll see if it worked on that second rep or not. Andreas, you think I missed a question? I probably did. Because it sent Zutsensi from hello Ben from Poland. Well, hello. Who did I miss? Where did I miss? Oh. Shebel, every time I approach a biggish lift, I hear a voice in my head. You'll fuck it up like you always do. You're a loser. Always be this way. Has it been like this for the last year? If you have the opportunity to practice meditation and mindfulness, you can't make those voices go away. Those are things like insecurity, doubt, self-loathing. Those things exist. And one of the least helpful things is to say just ignore it, because you can't. It's in your head. You can't turn off those thoughts. Just like you can't not be angry, or just like you can't not. You can't stop the manifestation of thoughts in your mind. It's intangible. There's nothing you can hold on to. But what you can do is practice the art of recognizing that it's there and not letting it manifest itself into something that's external. So the idea of, I recognize that I feel this way, and I accept that I feel that way, but that it's an internal state, and I'm going to choose to act in a way, in the way that I choose to act, regardless of how I feel. It comes down to being intentional about your choices, and not letting yourself be victimized by your own mental talk. So something like practicing meditation or mindfulness, specifically putting yourself in the moment where you force yourself to be calm and you force yourself to pay extra attention to things that ground you in the moment, because those kind of thoughts, like you're going to mess it up, that's anticipation. That's thinking past this moment. That's thinking to the next thing, or that's thinking about that's a future prediction that you have no idea whether or not it's going to come true. All you can really do is center yourself in this moment, in the reality that you exist in, accept that you're going to feel certain ways, and then act in spite of those feelings and in spite of those things. So some good examples of things that you can maybe access at that headspace is an app that I use. I pay for a membership to the subscription of it, but the first 10 meditation little 10-minute segments are free, and I would recommend that to anybody as a way to start, and then look for, if you want to go through and do something like that. I don't have an affiliation with them other than I really believe in what they're doing, and I think it's been helpful for me, not only in managing my own anxiety from like lifting or performance, if I'm singing in front of people and I get nervous or something like that, some of that kind of stuff, but also just in the way that you kind of prioritize how you approach different tasks and difficulties in your life. And specifically my ADHD. For the Arnold, I wasn't able to take my medication for the few weeks leading up to those 2 contests, and I really had to lean on my ability to practice mindfulness and center myself in the moment, even with the chemical imbalance that was going on in my brain. So I absolutely understand what you're talking about. But it just comes down to practice and getting used to the idea that sometimes things are going to be out of your control, but the only thing you can control is that you're going to try your best, and accept that as long as you do that, whatever outcome that comes from it is the outcome that was going to come from it, no matter how you anticipated it. So I hope that helps. Go Canes 44, is it true the national anthem is one of the hardest songs to sing? I mean, I think most people don't start low enough. I think most people start high because it starts pretty low, and then it's got a range, right? The range of the song is pretty extreme for most untrained singers, and a lot of them start higher because the beginning of it would be too low otherwise, but then they get to those high notes and they're like, I didn't anticipate this. So people just underestimate the range of it. So if you start low enough, it shouldn't be the hardest song to sing. I think that'd be a misnomer. A lot of times that's one of those songs that all the focus is on you. So maybe people get nervous with it, and that can add to it. I'm sure I'll get nervous tonight, but I'm going to try to do my best to ignore those feelings and just do what I'm capable of doing. Go Canes, have you ever seen the free 16-week program recently from Calgary Barbell? If so, thoughts? I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really give my thoughts, except that I like Bryce, and I think he's a good people. And I think that he's smart with his programming, and it makes sense. So I would, without seeing it, I would tend to be maybe biasly trustful. I would trust Bryce to put out something that is quality, but I haven't reviewed it myself. So that's based off of just me knowing who he is and him as a lifter and a person, not as an official review. Red Panda, have you ever tried to shout Hadouken to scare the weights off the ground? I haven't. It doesn't work so much. Joe, if you practice visualization of the lift, it should push away the loser thoughts because your mind is focused on completing the lift, in my opinion. I like to focus on my breath because, that's what I like to do because it's present. Because visualizing, some sports psychologists really push visualization. And again, it is kind of like you're saying, it's sort of a distraction where you're focusing on completing the lift. But if you have that negative talk coming up, maybe you need to remove yourself from the thoughts of that lift going one way or the other, and instead you need to focus just on the current present and not make assessments one way or the other. Because there are going to be some weights you go up to where you think you should be able to do it, but your expectations aren't matched up to your reality. You're just not ready for that weight. And then you feel bad. You feel bad when you can't do it. And it's one thing to use that as feedback to change your future plans or your future, to make adjustments in the future to not have that situation come up again. But at the same time, I think that you can't tie your worth or your value to how that weight goes, to how that one thing goes. It's something that's going to happen, and you have to practice the acceptance that your self-worth is not tied to your ability to move a weight. Your self-worth is the culmination of all of your intentions and actions towards other people, and this is one part of it, right? This is a tool that you're using to build yourself up, and that's all it is. And so whether you can do it or whether you can't do it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change your worth as a person. So, I know, I have an hour. I'm going to hit this next set, though. Felt a little better. Andreas, you're out. Go work. Thanks for hanging out, sir. Much appreciated. I will. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow night. Boxrus, hello. Hope I'm well. I'm doing pretty well. One more set, and then we're actually gonna have to cut the stream so I can get on the road. We're way ahead of where I expected to be at this point, because I wasn't sure if we'd even be able to get to the benching. But I just proved to myself that I have been a dirty sandbagger for my previous deadlifting sessions, I guess. With the streaming, I thought I was moving as fast as I should, when obviously I could finish all of those deadlifts in under an hour. One more set, Robert. Literally have one set left, and then we're going to have to cut it. So, 2 weeks ago, this was a 5-hour workout, or I guess it was a 3.5-hour workout with an hour and a half talking after for the stream. But looks like we're going to keep this one just a little bit over 2 hours. And the deadlifting actually went faster than the benching, which is really funny, because I was not worried at all about the benching until it actually got here. And I've been stressing about those deadlifts for some reason for like a week. So go ahead and hit up your last round of questions or thoughts, friends, because we are going to be finishing this up with this last set. And then I'll try to kind of speed finish the last couple of questions if anybody has them. Joe, okay, hope to see some big numbers at the meet. Me too, my friend. Me too. Gonna try my best. So, the plan is not actually to do anything crazy. The plan is to just kind of get a little bit higher total, pad the total for the qualifiers for the nomination total going into nationals. But still gonna try to put together a clean and hopefully PR performance. So we shall see. One more set. Uno setito. Get a little bit of caffeine. You gotta hold it this way, right? For the potential sponsorship opportunities. Monster, looking at you. I wish. Probably the only supplement sponsorship I would even accept now. Closest thing to a supplement I even still take. Hello, Alex. Welcome. Welcome to the end. We've got one set left, my friend. Uno setito. And then we will be signing off for the day so I can go up to Tacoma and sing some song. One song. One very specific song. Last set of bench. Last set of benchito. You say ito after the words that you say. It's a insensitive way to try and... I remember when the stream was long. Yep. Remember that time? Never again. Probably again. Most likely again. Definitely again. Maybe not today. In all honesty, what I'd like to do is I'd like to get in the habit of finishing the workout quickly and then having time to hang out where it's not like pulling me away from the session. But that's on me. That's not you guys. That's something I have to work on doing. Being a more effective stream host, I guess. All right. Last set of bench. Get your questions in so we can answer them real quick afterwards. And then we're going to have to pick it up on Tuesday, where I am so hoping to be figured out and going for the Twitch location swap in terms of where the stream's going to be coming from. Maybe try to dual stream if my computer can handle it for the first couple while we adjust. But the goal is to move that to Twitch because I have some thoughts of how it might go. Woo! Burpages. Bah! my friends, we are finished with the workout for the day. 2 hours, 12 minutes from empty bar to last set completed. Joe, so I'm benching 4 times a week. How much total volume? Currently, we're tapering everything down because of the meat. But we were doing like a 6x6 and then like a 5x5 plus a single, then a 4x4, then like 7 triples or something. No, it was like 6 sets of 4 and then 7 triples. It was a lot. So much less now. Swag. Later, Ben. Later, Alex. Thank you for stopping by. If for only briefly, next week will be a little bit. Schedule will probably change a little bit later. As much as I like getting up and getting this done at noon, that's a pretty short turnover from wake up to me. I guess I got to get used to it if we got the meet coming up and I'm going to lift during the daytime, not like a person would. But yes, thank you guys for all the good lucks. Forewarned, Red Panda, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. For everybody who's been hanging out, love you all so much and appreciate the time we get to spend together on these little things. Wish I could spend some more time, but I do need to get cleaned up and hit the road. I've got 40 minutes to be well on my way to Tacoma, so I'm going to shower, eat, take care of everything I need to take care of, and then I'll be heading up there. So thank you guys so much. Special shout out to JCream101 and Steve for the donations. I'm so appreciative of that. I don't think you guys understand how much it means to me and how validating it is for the work that I try to do and the things I try to keep up and out there, guys, out there for you all for free. As is normal, my reaction, I guess, the donations are never expected, but they're always so deeply appreciated. It means so much to me, and I appreciate all of you guys just for hanging out. I appreciate the people who donate. I appreciate the time that you guys have shared with me over the years and in these instances in particular. And yeah, it really does mean a lot. So I hope you are all having a great morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are in this crazy world we have. I hope that your day is blessed and wonderful. And I will talk to you all very soon. Next stream on Tuesday and then the following Saturday. So thank you so much. Check out the social media links if you want to know when those streams are going live. I'm going to try to get in a habit of letting people know earlier in advance instead of like, hey, I'm starting now, let's go. But that's something I'm working on. So thank you all so much. I love your faces. I love all of you. Have a great day, night thing. And I'm rambling. Goodbye.